Hi, boys and girls. Well, welcome back to school after our spring break. And we're still having a wonderful spring, and I hope that you're ready for some more learning. So our math lesson today is math lesson 9.5, and we're going to be talking about measuring using meters. And so I have my meter stick actually with me today. And oh, let me scoot back. See if you can see the whole meter. See how long that is? That is a meter. So if I hold my hands apart about that much, you can see how long a meter is. Well, a meter is actually made up of centimeters. See, centimeter, meaning a meter is 100 centimeters. So we start, when you measure with a centimeter, remember we were using our ruler, and on one side of the ruler, these are inches. Inches are far apart. They're about 2 fingers. And centimeters, we want to flip it over, and even on my meter stick, this side shows inches and the other side shows centimeters. So we are using centimeters. Those are the numbers that are very close together, and there's a lot of numbers. So we want to make sure we're using our centimeter side. So if I go all the way down the meter stick, 1 meter is going to, see how that ends on, there's a 99, and at the very end, it's 100. So there are 100 centimeters in a meter. Okay, so I hope you have a meter stick maybe at home. If you don't, well, just if you have a ruler, let's see, the meter stick is a little bit longer than 36 means 3 feet. So that would be 3 rulers. So it's a little bit longer than 3 rulers. Okay, so it's actually a little bit longer than 39 inches. So, but the important thing is that you know the difference between an inch, which is bigger, and a centimeter, which is much smaller. So we're going to watch Jessie Bear first, and then we'll take a look at measuring some big things with our meter stick.
How is measuring in meters different from measuring in centimeters?
Hi there! Bailey saw some kids playing soccer. They needed a goal, so they measured the distance between the table and the tree. Click the tree to find out more. Ah, the distance from the table to the tree is 6 meters. Well, that's the perfect length for a goal. But what if the kids measured the distance in centimeters? Will the number of centimeters be less than or more than the number of meters? Or will it be the same? Hey, why don't we learn about how measuring in centimeters is different from measuring in meters? You ready? Let's go!
Let's measure this string using 2 different objects. First, we'll use square tiles. Click to place the left edge of the first tile under the left end of the string. Good job! That's the first square tile. Now place more tiles side by side with no space between them until you reach the right end of the string. Let's count the tiles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So how many tiles long is the string? The string is 15 tiles long. Now let's measure the same string using paper clips. Click to place the left edge of the paper clip under the left end of the string. Good job! That's the first paper clip. Now place more paper clips side by side with no space between them until you reach the right end of the string. Let's count the paper clips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How long is the string in paper clips? The string is 5 paper clips long. The paper clip is longer than the tile, so we needed fewer paper clips to measure the same length of string. We measured the string using 2 different units of measure, a square tile and a paper clip, so the measurements are different. You can measure lengths in centimeters and also in meters. 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. You're going to measure the height of the door using a meter stick. This meter stick is exactly 1 meter long. The 0 mark is at the bottom edge. Let's find out how tall the door is. First, click to place the meter stick so its bottom edge lines up with the bottom of the door. The door is more than 1 meter tall, so let's keep measuring. Drag a second meter stick so that its bottom edge lines up with the top edge of the first meter stick. That's right. The bottom edge of the second meter stick must line up with the top edge of the first meter stick. Now the meter sticks have reached the top of the door, so you're done measuring. Count the meter sticks to find out how many meters tall the door is. 1, 2. About how many meters tall is the door? Select the answer. Good job! The door is about 2 meters tall. A meter stick is 100 centimeters long. How many centimeters tall is the door? That's right. The door is 200 centimeters tall. Now let's practice with the personal math. Now try your
Thanks for helping me find the length of the soccer goal. See you soon!
Okay, so now we should have our paper in front of us, lesson 9.5, and this might be a little bit difficult to do in a video lesson. And so I'm going to encourage you guys to try to go outside maybe, or find a place in your house where you can do some measuring. And the main thing is that you try to measure and try to get an idea of the difference between centimeters and meters and inches, of course. So, but today and in our chapter 9, we're really talking about the meters and centimeters. So if we were in the classroom right now, this is what the teachers would have you be doing right now, is measuring some distances on the floor. So you can see on your paper, it says first measurement and second measurement. The first measurement, if we were measuring something in the classroom, we would take some tape or find a distance between two things that's kind of long, and we would measure that using a meter stick. Here's the meter stick. Remember, the meter stick is the one with 100 centimeters on each stick. So, so if you can find something, maybe you can go out and measure the sidewalk or a driveway or a hallway, or measure the distance across a room, and that might work. Okay. So whatever you decide to measure, you can do that now. You could pause the video and you could measure, or you can do it later. But we're just going to have to sort of pretend that we measured something. And I'm going to say that we measured a distance that was 3 meters long. And something that we would have done in class, we would have had some yarn cut to the length of 1 meter. So I have this little piece of yarn that was cut to the length of 1 meter. And so I could just measure with my yarn, or I could measure with a tape measure if I wanted to, but the meter stick works pretty good too. So something that's 3 meters, I would want to look at the meter side, and then I would want to line up another meter stick exactly right on where this meter stick ends. I would want to put another meter stick right there. Or I would want to mark where the end was, and then put a mark there and start at the same place, because you don't want to have any gaps. Now, do you remember how many centimeters are in 1 meter? That's right, there are 100 centimeters in a meter. So a meter is longer than a centimeter. A centimeter is only the width of 1 finger, and a meter is as long as 100 fingers. So try to remember that. That's really important. So if you want to take your paper and draw, let's see, I'm going to draw a line. And so for my line, my straight line, I'm going to say that it was 3 centimeters. And so, what happened to my line? Oh, my line's not working. Sometimes my line doesn't work. Let me see if I can fix it here. Okay, let's see if my little line will work now. Okay, yes. Okay, I'm just going to pretend that that's 1 meter, and actually it's going to be 3 of those. So it would be about that long. And I want to label that as 3 meters. And so you could do the same on your paper. And if you can find something that is 3 meters, that would be even better, because then you can find out for yourself how long 3 meters really is. And 3 meters is how many centimeters? Because remember, that's 100, 200, 300. Okay, so 3 meters is actually 300 centimeters, and we can put cm for the abbreviation of centimeters. Now, for the second measurement, it's always fun to measure the same distance using a different unit of measure. And I folded some papers lengthwise. And when you line these up with no gaps, if you fold some papers lengthwise, it actually is almost, it's almost 4 papers that makes 4 papers folded lengthwise that makes a meter. So it actually, to make 3 meters, it takes about 11 papers. So if we draw our second line, so for each centimeter, it was almost 4 papers. So we're just going to write 11 folded papers. So the same length of a line. One measured 3 meters when we measured it with a really super long meter stick, but it took 11 papers because the papers are smaller. So of course it's going to take more of the papers. And if we were measuring in centimeters, it would be 300. So the smaller your unit of measurement is, the more it's going to take to measure a distance. That's why if it's something big, like if I were measuring those closet doors back there, that would probably be about 2 or 3 meters tall. So let's move on to the next page. Okay, so 1 meter is the same as 100 centimeters, and you know that because we've been talking about that. The real door is about 200 centimeters tall, and so that means a real door is about 2 meters tall. So the closet back there would be about 2 meters tall. So if you can find some real objects in your house to measure that would be close to a centimeter or 2 or 3 centimeters tall, that would be great. So if we look at a chair, now I'm sitting in this chair right here, and this is my meter stick. And I actually have the meter stick on the floor, and look, this chair is exactly 1 meter, 1 whole meter stick. So the first thing that we're going to write is how many centimeters. Looks like that's going to be too big. So how many centimeters tall is the chair? Well, if it's 1 meter, that means it's 100 centimeters. And how many meters is that? Okay, so 100 centimeters is 1 meter. Now, there's a teacher's desk. Now, a desk that is this long is a pretty good sized desk. And I'm actually sitting at a desk. You can't see it, but I'm sitting at a desk right now. And it's actually about 1.5 centimeters long. I mean, it's 1.5 meters. See, sometimes I even get confused. 1.5 of these meter sticks long. So I'm just going to say it's a super long desk, and I'm going to say 2 meters. So what would 2 meters be? Because remember, each meter is 100. So 100, 200. 200 centimeters. And 200 centimeters means 2 meters. Okay, now for a wall. Now a wall, let me see if you can see the wall back here. Well, it's a closet door, but there would be 1 meter. And there's 2 way up there. So it's actually about 2.5. So in the classroom, it's probably taller than it is in this room. So why don't we just say that it would be 3 of these meter sticks? Now, if a wall measured 3 of these meter sticks, how many centimeters would that be? Let's count by hundreds. 100, 200, 300. Okay, so we're going to write 300 centimeters here for the wall. Okay, and 300 centimeters would be, how many meters did we decide that would be? That's right, 3. Okay. So I hope you can find some things around your house to measure. And this part is on your own. And again, you may not have a chalkboard. We have a chalkboard here to measure, and we have a bookshelf, and we have a table. So if you have something that you can measure with, just remember, if you're measuring in centimeters, every 100 centimeters is a meter. So you might be able to measure a window and any type of bookshelf or cupboard or anything that's a little bit bigger, and then a table. Try to find a big table if you can, or something that's pretty long. Okay, because today we're trying to measure things that are long, and we're also comparing how long a meter is compared to a little itty bitty centimeter. Okay, so that part is on your own, and now we're going to go to math on the spot. Our question is, Mr. Ryan walked next to a barn. He wants to measure the length of the barn. So see the barn in the picture? That's a pretty big barn, and that's going to be a long measurement. What would the length be a greater number of centimeters or a greater number of meters? And explain your answer. So it just means that if he measures the barn with meters and then he measures it again with centimeters, which one would be a greater number? Would it be more centimeters or more meters? So let's think about that and see if maybe the puppets can help us answer that question.
Look alive, people, look alive! It's show time!
Joey, what's going on?
Oh, you know, the director, he couldn't make it in, so I'm gonna direct today. I'm so excited to be working with you today, Mr. Berger.
Well,
Put it there.
thank you. Oh, thank you. Yes, thank you, Mr. Director. Yes.
Now, let's see. For this piece,
Yes.
I want you to express lots of emotion.
Emotion.
All right.
All right.
And action!
Mr. Ryan walked next to a school
Cut!
bus.
Just give it a little bit more emotion.
Okay, more.
Come on,
Okay,
come
here we
on.
go.
Feel it. And action!
Mr. Ryan walked next to a school bus. He wants to measure the length of the school bus. Would the length be a greater number of centimeters or a greater number of meters?
Oh, riveting! Keep going, keep going!
Let's think about it together. So here's the bus, and we want to have Mr. Ryan measure the length of the bus. And so if we think of the length, we could actually visualize the length like this. Dun, 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 dun. Wow! Now, if we measure the length of that in centimeters, what we would see would be that this would have a length of 300 centimeters. 300! That's a lot. So 300 centimeters. Now, how many meters is that? Well, now a meter is very, very interesting because a meter is actually equal to 100 centimeters. So a meter is so large that it can actually hold 100 centimeters all in a row.
That is a lot of centimeters!
That's a lot of centimeters, but if in fact 100 centimeters equals 1 meter, that means that 300 centimeters would equal 3 meters. So in fact, this length, if we were to write it in terms of meters, would actually be just 3. 3 meters equals 300 centimeters.
3 meters equals 300 centimeters.
That's exactly right, Director Joey. And so centimeters are much smaller than meters because there's 300 centimeters that make up just 3 meters. So centimeters are much smaller than meters, and so it would take a lot more centimeters than meters to measure the length of the school bus. And that's the action.
And cut! Oh, that was fantastic!
Thank you.
I could barely hold back my emotions! Now, for this, let's just have a little bit more. Just give it a little bit more.
But we just finished the math riddle. What are you talking about?
That was just the rehearsal. Now, let's take it from the top and action!
I guess you can never have enough math, so we can do it again. Have fun with math. We'll see you soon.
So Professor Berger and Joey were talking about measuring a school bus, but Mr. Ryan is measuring a barn. So with the length, again, we have the same question, and it's always good to underline the question so that you know what you're trying to find out. So with the length, would the length be a greater number of centimeters or a greater number of meters? So that's almost like if you were going to measure something with ants or measure something with kitty cats. Now, kitty cats are a lot bigger than ants. So if you had to line up a bunch of ants, it would take a lot of ants and less kitty cats. Well, centimeters and meters are the same way. It takes a lot of centimeters because they're smaller than it does meters. So let's see what we can write for the answer. Okay, we can write that it would be a greater number of centimeters because centimeters are smaller than meters. So that's when you measure with something small, you're going to have to use a lot more of them to get your answer. So that's why if you're measuring something that's really, really, really long, you want to use a longer unit of measurement, like a meter stick or a big long tape measure rather than a ruler. Okay, and then our last problem of the day. Okay, write the word on the tile. Write the word on the tile that makes the sentence true. So we have centimeters and meters. Okay, so this is where you have to remember that centimeters are small, so there's more of them, and meters are big. A bench is 2 centimeters or meters. What do you think? Okay, well, think about how long is 2 centimeters? That would be 2 fingers. Well, that might be a little teeny tiny miniature bench for an ant. So, but a 2-meter long bench would fit quite a few people. So we would say meters. So 2 meters long. Okay, now how about a pencil? Oh, I have a pencil right here. This pencil. 15. Oh, would that be 15 of these meter sticks long? Or would it be just 15 little centimeters long? Centimeters. Okay, so centimeters. Okay, how about a paper clip? Now, I have some paper clips here. They're from our math lesson where we lined up paper clips. Remember when we lined up all these little paper clips, we were measuring with inches. So just one of these paper clips, do you think that would be 2 or 3 centimeters? Or that would be 2 or 3 little centimeters, or 2 or 3 meters? That would be a giant paper clip. So it's centimeters again. Centimeters. And how about a bed? Well, maybe a bed for an ant might be 3 little centimeters long, but for a big person, a bed might be 3 meters long, 3 meter sticks. So we'll put meters. Okay, well, I hope today you have learned the difference between a centimeter and a meter. And remember, if you have a meter stick, 1 meter is 100 centimeters. So, hope you had fun with your math today, and we'll see you tomorrow for lesson 9.6. Have a great day. Bye-bye.